Hi guys, my name is Andy, I'm 26, I live in the northeast of England and I am autistic. And today I'm here just to talk to you guys about what it's like living with autism. Like, what is it like being an autistic person? What is it like being on the spectrum? Before we actually get into the question of what's it like living with autism, I think it's important to explain what is autism, just generally, just to give you guys a bit of context. So what is autism? It's a lifelong developmental neurological condition that affects how a person communicates and relates to other people. It affects how a person experiences the world around them. And if you were paying close attention, I did mention the word spectrum before, and that's because autism is a spectrum condition. Say if you have two autistics right in front of you, they might share similarities, but they're not going to be exactly the same. There's a saying in the community, you know, if you meet one autistic, you've met one autistic. But you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Andy, if everyone on the spectrum is different, how does it influence you? Like, how does autism affect you? Well, I'm going to talk about that now. I don't feel I'm very confident socially. Like, I don't feel like I am the most effective communicator. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, you're talking to the camera perfectly fine. Well, that's because there's no one here. And this is my own personal space. This is my home. So I naturally feel safe in my home because it's what I know. But if you told me to go outside and talk to people that I didn't know, like people, like strangers and stuff, that's very difficult because I don't know how the strangers might interact with me. Like if they say something satirical or just joking about something, I might take it very, very literally. You know that saying, it's raining cats and dogs, right? Obviously, I know that it's not a real thing, but if you talk to another autistic, they might take it very literally that it's actually going to rain cats and dogs. So for me, I find it difficult to understand what people actually mean when they say stuff. And often I'm left saying, I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean, can you just rephrase that? But it's not just the social side of things that affects me, it's also the sensory side of things, like bright lights in supermarkets, lots and lots of noise, say in supermarkets, we'll go with supermarkets as the example here, and just the busyness and general chaos that is a supermarket, or just everyday life. Like for me, going outside, it's like going into chaos. Lights are just way too bright. Shops and other places, the music's just way too loud, and also places can get very, very crowded, which I just don't really deal with very well. But also being autistic can be really isolating. Yes, I've got a lot of family. I have a lot of friends who really appreciate me, and I'm really lucky to have that. But it's very hard to explain to someone how I feel a lot of the time, because often I don't know how I'm actually feeling myself. Like I can't actually pin words onto things that I'm feeling. And also another thing I struggle with is changing routine and plans. Like if you tell me that something's gonna change, I'm not gonna deal very well with it. Like I'll be able to deal with it, but if it's like last minute, it's like, it feels like I'm being punched in the chest. I feel really anxious. I get really nervous. I don't know how to think. Like my mind runs at 1,000,000 miles per hour. Social, sensory, changes, just all of this stuff. It gets a bit much sometimes. But for me, it's not all doom and gloom. Like, even though I do find things difficult, like I've said in this video, and there's no cure for autism, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change me. I wouldn't change the person that I am. Because I'm autistic, I always have been autistic, and I always will be, and it's all that I know. You know, the way that I see things, hear things, that's all I've ever known, and that's all I'll ever know. So really, even though it's difficult, it's not something that I could say definitively that I would ever change, because I don't like change anyway, so it would be completely pointless. But even though I do face challenges, I still feel that autism is a positive influence on my life. Like, yes, sometimes I might not understand the way that someone communicates with me. Sometimes I might not understand jokes and stuff like that, but I do feel empathy towards other people. You know, I can understand when someone's sad or someone's angry. A lot of the time I actually feel their emotion. And being autistic, it just means to me that my brain is wired a little bit differently to other people, and this really helps with my creativity. Like, I'll think of an idea for a song, for example, like I'll hear the melody in my head and I'll think, well, that's a good melody, I wonder where that's from, and then find out that it's actually not from anywhere and it's something that just came from my imagination, and I'm thinking, that's actually pretty cool, we'll work on that. Also, my autism, I feel, really helps me get focused into things that I love. You know, I can become really focused on things that I love doing, such as YouTube, where, you know, I just really focus in on attention to detail. Like, I love finding out how things work. I love knowing the inner workings of things. I just skip along the yellow brick road or whatever it is, you know, just singing to my own song. Really, I'm just me. I'm just me at the end of the day, and I wouldn't be me without my autism. So, but just to wrap everything up, living with autism can be difficult, and sometimes it can be amazing. But also, I will say that sometimes you might see me out in public and I might struggle, and sometimes you'll see other people with autism who do struggle with certain things. But also sometimes you might not be able to see the fact that they're struggling with something. But literally, guys, I could probably write a whole dissertation on how autism works and all of the signs and the symptoms and just everything to do with autism, but the thing is, it's not going to help you, it's not going to help me, it's not going to help all of the other autistics that are out there living with this condition. Really, what we need, and what we need from you, is understanding. We just want to be accepted, just like you sitting down or wherever you're watching this. You know, we just want to be accepted for who we are and for our differences. Really, if you know someone with autism, or you're out there and you interact with someone with autism, or they tell you that they're autistic, just be understanding. You know, just be understanding of the fact that they might say something a little bit differently to you. They might hear something a bit differently. You know, there might be a difference there, but that's okay. Just take the time to talk to us. Just take the time to try and understand things from our perspective. But anyway, guys, if you need to know any information at all about autism, or you just are a bit curious and you want to know a little bit more about something that I've touched on, I definitely recommend the National Autistic Society website, and that website is www.autism.org.uk. And really, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you around very soon. See you later, guys.